You've heard of an alpha male and a beta male. You've probably heard of an alpha male and a beta male because of a 1982 book about chimpanzee politics by a guy named Franz de Waal, based on earlier research from the 40s about how wolf packs operate. There is an alpha, and then there are the betas who serve the alpha. Then you get the chimpanzees of the 80s, and then people start applying that to human society. In the mid-2000s, there was a pickup artist named Neil Strauss who applied it to dating. And he said, if you want to pick up chicks, you got to be an alpha male, and that involves performing all sorts of things and wearing all sorts of silly clothing. And then in 2010, the blogger Theodore Beale, who goes by the nom de plume Vox Day, greatly expanded this idea of the socio-sexual hierarchy of men to include all sorts of other terms. The categories are alpha. We know what that is. That's the leader. That's the big, hot, cool guy who leads the organizations and gets all the chicks. Then we get betas. In this new, more complex system of male categorization, the betas are the lieutenants. They might be good looking, they get a fair number of girls, but they don't lead the organizations. They attach themselves to an alpha, and then they execute on the alpha's desires. They're deeply loyal, both to the alpha and to the organization as a whole. Then after that, you get the deltas, the worker bees. The deltas are the people who are very diligent about their tasks. They don't really lead anything. They're not necessarily all that loyal, but they do their job and they do it right. The gammas, according to this scheme, are the angry nerds who might be more intelligent than average, might have more knowledge in a specific area than most other people, but they're kind of irritated about it. They don't like their place in the social pecking order, and so they can be resentful of the alphas and the other people in the line who maybe get more girls and make more money and have more social success. After that, you get the omegas. The omegas are the losers. They're the school shooters. They are just so divorced from anything resembling normal society. They're completely outcast. And then you get the sigmas. The sigmas are the new object of desire. Women want them. Men want to be them. The sigmas are outside of the hierarchy. So according to Beale, the sigmas are like the alphas in that they're courageous and they have vision and they're probably pretty hot and women really like them. But whereas the alpha is the head of the wolf pack, the sigmas are lone wolves. They don't have a pack. They don't care about the hierarchy. They want to go their own way. So the sigmas seem super cool. And they're associated with all sorts of popular movie characters. It's the Han Solo type, the Clint Eastwood type, Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, Ed Norton in Fight Club, Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner, Ryan Gosling in Drive. What do all of these characters have in common? On the superficial level, they reject modern society. They think that this whole social structure that we have, it's all BS. They think specifically in our modern culture that the wokeness, the lies, the consumerism, the shallow relationships, that it all seems sort of artificial. They want to break past it. They want to transcend it. They've been driven a little bit mad, or at the very least frustrated, by the pitfalls of our modern culture.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. And we're very, very pissed off.
The other thing that all these characters have in common is that they are complete fantasies. But I mean, even within the logic of these stories, these characters are delusional, especially the two most prominent ones. Patrick Bateman in American Psycho is delusional. By the end of the movie, you realize that Patrick Bateman hasn't actually done the things that you think that he has done. Ed Norton in Fight Club. By the end of the movie, you realize Ed Norton's a schizo. It's not real. So why is the Sigma male mindset so popular right now? Why is it probably the biggest trend on TikTok, specifically with young men ages 17 into their early 20s? Two reasons. One, because society is so obviously corrupt. And as society breaks down and becomes more transparently corrupt, people are going to want to break away from that and go their own way. That is perfectly natural, totally understandable. The reason that this idea, though, is very popular among this particular group of men is because that is the time when life is least settled. That time in your late teens into your early 20s is when you have left the very well-defined social structure of school, where achievement is very easy to measure, but then you leave that, and none of that stuff matters anymore. But it's still before the time that you've ever actually accomplished anything in your career. And so what do? You fantasize. You say, I don't have real accomplishments to my name exactly, but I know that I'm capable of them. People just don't understand it. I think this is why Sigma is so much more attractive to people than Alpha, because the Alpha male is measurable. He is the top of an organization. He has lots of people who are loyal to him. He can command respect when he walks into a room. The Sigma says that he is like the Alpha, but without any of the outward signs.